Welcome to It Can Get Better Than This. I'm Dr. Cindy Byler.
And I'm Heather Hodge. And today our episode is called Self Care, What It Is and What It Isn't.
Oh,
I know, I'm so excited
I like
because
this one.
me too. I love talking about self care and
I'm
I
gonna give
love
my house.
learning about self
I'm
care.
gonna give myself a hug right away.
Oh, we're continuing our season on creating a life you love. And
hmm
of course, in creating a life you love, you have to talk about self care because if you're caring for yourself, that is love.
Oh, now you're starting to creep me out. So, a lot of times when we think about self care, we're just talking about bubble baths and getting coffee.
Yeah, which is self care.
That is definitely self care. Not negating that, not dismissing that in any way whatsoever for all of you coffee fans and bubble baths fans. But it can go, if you choose it to, it can go much deeper and
Hmm.
much broader, and it really should. So one of the things that you can look at is going into therapy is a great form of self-care and taking a really hard look in the mirror. Now that doesn't sound like self-care while I'm saying it.
No.
However, it really helps to not just treat the symptoms of your life and how things are going all the time, but getting some of the root causes of why symptoms are coming up that are unpleasant and that are hindering your life.
Hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think that I think that in order to take care of yourself, you do need to look at things that aren't working
Mhm.
and um and being the best version of yourself that you can be. Not for other people necessarily even, just so that you can experience the best version of yourself as well,
Yes.
cuz you
Yes.
deserve to.
And in therapy, it sounds like, oh, that's really harsh. But in therapy, they're helping you. A good therapist is helping you to take that hard look in the mirror, like look at the things that are not working, why that they're not working, and start making steps as to reaching your your way to fix those the core of the issue. Many times that's a healing that goes on inside
Yeah,
and a reframing of how you're looking at yourself and your life.
right. I went to a chiropractor's office a few years ago and he had this poster of oh man, I can't quite remember what it looked like, but I remember it said um don't worry, it'll get better, and it was like a broken back or a broken neck or something like that.
Right.
And it's like if I don't touch it, if I just leave it alone, it'll go away. Or if I
Right.
ignore it, it'll go away. And we often do that with our issues, our
Yes.
mental and emotional issues too, or trauma and all that kind of thing.
Right.
It's like if I just don't worry about it,
If I just ignore it, it'll go away.
yeah,
But it doesn't. It stays sometimes under the surface to you.
and it festers.
It festers, but many times you think you're hiding it and it's not affecting everybody else, but everybody else around you, oh, yes, I wish they would deal with this because they would be doing so much better.
Yeah. So much
So,
happier.
yes. So, therapy or somebody that can help you through taking a hard look at yourself and identifying, okay, these are the things like we talked about on last episode. These are the things that go through my head that are not true, that are definitely negative affirmations of myself that limit me from doing what I would like to do with my life and creating a life that I love, weeding those out and finding healing in those and fixing those, changing
Yeah.
them to positive affirmations and a more gracious look at ourselves really
Yeah.
helps a lot.
I agree. I think that some of it is also looking at what is one like looking at your own characteristics, maybe in your personality even, and saying like, okay, these are really, really great things, and then going, oh, I get grumpy a lot, or I am irritable a lot, that kind of thing.
hmm
And really trying to think about why.
Yeah.
Or even just if you choose to go to a therapist or do one of the many forms of like online therapy and
hmm
stuff, going and saying, "Hey, I'm here today not because anything just happened to me necessarily. I'm going because I'm struggling with being irritable all the time." Or um people make fun of me a lot and I don't like it and I don't know how to talk about it. Or even little things like that. You'll be surprised at what the root cause of that could be.
Yes.
and not how easy it is to fix it, but how simple it turns out to be, that it's like, "Oh, if I had known that, I probably could have taken care of that a long time ago."
Right.
It's still probably gonna be a lot of hard work to fix
Yes.
it, but
Yeah.
man, it is so rewarding when you can get to that
Yes.
point.
One time I walked in and my therapist said, "Why are you so angry all the time? You always have to be angry with one person.
Oh, wow.
It's not everybody." And I'm like, "I don't do that." And he's like, "Okay," which was how he responded when I immediately denied what he was saying. So, which always makes me stop and like, "Oh, I am always angry." And it was that I needed to get that anger out that I had felt since I was a child. It had to go in some direction.
Right.
So we started working on why am I so angry? Like and it took a lot of work and some of it was hard to face, but I am so much happier and it takes a lot more to get me angry.
So, when that happened, and of course you said you were in denial, and then you went
Yes.
back and you looked at it, what like, that is a simple, like, "Oh, well, stop being angry," but what do you do with that?
What I did with that was I had to identify why I was so angry.
Okay.
And I was channeling into one person because I couldn't afford to be angry with everybody else. I didn't want to be angry at all.
Right. Right.
So, and so we identified, okay, the first issue is I'm angry. Why am I so angry? And we had to look into like, okay, what caused me to be angry this time? Most of the time it was really nothing. It wasn't even something to be that angry about. Okay, so let's dig a little deeper. So talking about some of the things that made me angry in childhood or my young adulthood,
Yeah.
or even going on at that moment that I couldn't address because it wasn't safe to address because some things had never been safe to address.
Right.
We didn't talk about feelings and stuff growing up. We kept them buried inside.
Yeah.
So, and a lot of people grow up that way and their parents don't even realize that they've done that to their kids. But starting to see, okay, that's where the anger comes from and starting to have some healing towards those things and finding
Right.
some more grace for myself to, okay, I feel angry today. I need some chocolate
Yeah.
or I need a little self care. I need a little self love here and not to just pour myself out so much to everybody else and everything that everybody else needs, but to take a little time to breathe for myself.
Right. Okay.
So it took some work to identify the triggers and why I was angry in the first place and start healing and working through those.
I'm sure it wasn't fun with anger, because anger is like,
Oh, that's
it's
such a
not just a
dark
flaw, but
emotion.
it's also a flaw that is like, it affects other people and it makes you feel bad about yourself and look
Mhm.
bad at yourself, and it makes you feel like other people look badly
Yeah.
towards you too. So it's like, I don't want to touch that. It's
Right.
icky.
Right, and it's a little scary. Sometimes therapy is scary because you're looking at things and you're like, "Oh, I'd rather keep that at arm's length."
Yeah.
But I found this is not at arm's length.
Right. Even if you keep pushing it.
Right, it's still coming out and affecting my relationships and, like, my everyday life because I was always angry with somebody.
Right. The same thing can be, um like, that's a very aggressive approach. For some people it's being passive
Mhm.
all the time,
Right,
and they confuse being passive for being peaceful, but it's not authentic peace.
right.
It's not true peace. It's dismissive.
Yes.
And those are often the people that you find are the most anxious, from what
Yes.
I've
And
in
they're
my own life
right,
experience,
and angry. There's
and
an angry
angry.
underneath that passivism,
Yeah.
if that's a word. Passivity.
Yeah, passivity.
There's an anger underneath of that, and they're not really expressing themselves. They're just pushing it down, but it's still coming out, but they're being passive and passive aggressive.
Right. But it's important for, I mean, therapy can fix, not fix. Therapy can help that too if you
Mhm.
allow your mental health professional to work with you and let
Right.
them in. They can help. Um and it doesn't mean that you're going to be aggressive. Like, I know that sounds exhausting to be um aggressive and direct and forward hitting, and I'm going to be assertive about everything I need to be. It doesn't necessarily mean that's where you'll go. You'll find an inner peace a
Right.
lot of
I actually
times.
found that as I became more outspoken about what I needed and my boundaries and actually set boundaries and kept them, I actually became softer and gentler.
Yeah.
I didn't become more aggressive and more I can say things very directly, but most of the time I don't say it with anger anymore. I say it just keeping my boundaries.
Yeah,
And I'm a lot I feel like I'm a lot more gentler, more at peace person because this is just how it is and I'm going to walk this way and if you want to come along with me, alongside me and walk with me then great.
right, right,
But these are my boundaries. And so it doesn't mean that you become harsh or aggressive. You can
right.
actually become more at peace by um, living in your boundaries.
And whether that's anger, like assertive anger, aggressive anger, whatever, or passive anger,
Hmm.
it's a lot of the things that we need to work on that would make us do better, feel better, be better are defense mechanisms.
Yes. Yes.
And that's kind of your signal of like, oh, I should look at that, see
Right.
if I need to work on that.
Right.
Um that can really help you. That goes all the way back to our intentional relationships and building trust with the people you're talking to and having your best interest at heart and everything
Hmm.
too. And asking, why am I so defensive and why do I respond this way when I am defensive?
Right.
So, and speaking of boundaries that you brought up, um, one of the things that I and a lot of my friends have had to work on is realizing I'm 30 years old. I'm not in trouble anymore with
Yes.
my parents
Yes. Gosh, I
or
worked on
with
my fear of my mom at 40 years old.
I was like I had a situation with you recently where um I was worried that you were upset with me for the entire night and it went through every I don't know, every emotion. And it was like, "Oh, I'm scared," to I'm angry, like, "How can she
Oh,
talk to me like this?" And I was like, "Wait a second. I am 30 years old. If
right.
I don't get in trouble, I don't get grounded anymore. The worst that could possibly happen is she's upset with me and we need to talk through it and we need to fix it." And
Right.
I know I'm lucky with my relationship with my mom on being able to say like, "Okay, well, let's sit down. We need to talk about this. We need to fix it." But
But you know what? That's how relationships should be.
it is. It is.
It shouldn't be that you're lucky. It should be this is how it is with my in my relationships.
Right. It just
That's what we all need to work towards.
yeah. But if you have a parent that
That you can't.
can't
Yes.
and that won't, um, you getting to that point of I am a grown person. I am paying my own bills. I'm taking care of my own life here.
Right.
I
You're an
am
adult.
right.
Yes.
Consequences are going to be natural consequences that happen in life anyway to anyone, not, they're going to ground me, they're going to yell at me, they're going to make me
Right.
feel this big, that kind of thing. You have a right to once it's crossed a level of being toxic and um a level that it does not need to go to, or like where the punishment is this big when the infringement is this big,
Mm-hmm.
you have a right to cut that off
Right.
and
Yeah. Set boundaries around that quickly. Yes.
set boundaries around your own heart. Now,
Right.
when you get defensive, please don't take that into a toxic way yourself and hole up and, isolate yourself from the world and all that
Right.
necessarily.
Right.
But
That also is not healthy.
right. But
So, yeah, the stopping fear of your parents as an adult is a very normal process.
yeah, but man, it takes a long time.
It
I'm like,
can.
that's ridiculous. 30, 40, 50 years old and you're still
Right.
feeling like I'm in trouble.
Right. Right. But what did you do that got you in trouble? That's what you need to think about.
It wasn't that big a
Oh.
deal. It really wasn't.
I'm just teasing.
I was like, what the heck?
So another thing to work at is to look at is a hard week versus a hard few months is different. We all go through a tough week. We've had
Yeah.
the last couple of weeks here at work have been very difficult because it's January. It's no longer Christmas. And
Yeah.
we all seem to, even though we live in the South, it's still, 24 degrees here today and
Right.
cold. And
You're
we
still
didn't get
hibernating
snow.
season.
It's hibernation season. I believe in hibernation. I believe we're supposed to be doing less in the wintertime. Anyway, that's a different subject on a different day. But we all have going through a few days where, okay, it's been a rough week or it's been a rough couple weeks. But when it gets to where it's been a rough few months, it's time to start looking at what's going on and seeing if your life is really sustainable where you've gotten it to be.
Right.
Like, have you just taken on too much and you're too busy and you can't keep up and it's time to make a lifestyle change somewhere and take something off your plate? Now, you can't take your children off your plate,
No.
but sometimes they're in too many activities
Yeah.
or we've joined too many book clubs.
Sometimes you need a big change. Sometimes you really need to look at the steps to taking a big career move.
Yes, yes.
And or even just something as simple as setting boundaries in your work environment,
Mhm.
not taking extra work home and that kind of thing,
Right.
or taking less extra work home at least.
Yeah, because unfortunately in school, colleges, and a lot of jobs in our society, it is applauded and people are impressed by heavy workloads and working a lot of hours and high production.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
some people are really designed to do that, but it comes at a price. And many of us are not designed to carry that kind of load for long periods of time.
right. Well, a lot of workplace, the upper management, the upper like the bosses level see that that's the mark of a team player is if you
Yeah.
answer your communications
After work
after
hours.
work hours, which
Yes.
you shouldn't have to do at all,
Hmm.
or if you're not taking on more than what you're getting paid to do. Um I'm a firm believer in looking at your job description and making sure that you are staying within the confines of your job description
Right. And your
before.
hours
Yes,
that you're
and your
getting paid
hours.
for. Right.
Um, because whether it's you have a family at home or even if you're living by yourself, unless work is where you find joy, all the time, like you owe it to yourself to have a life outside of your other obligations.
Right. Yeah. And it's very healthy to do that. So it also, self care is taking a hard look at your mental load
Yeah.
and making sure that you're not carrying the entire mental load in your job or even at home.
Yes.
That mental load needs to be shared. If you're a single parent, that mental load is going to be heavier than if you have a spouse.
Oh yeah.
Now, there's some jobs that take a spouse to a different country or a different town or a different state. They're not living in the home at that moment.
Right.
So that's a little different. Or if you're a single parent, but that mental load needs to be shared at the job and at home as much as possible so that one person is
Yeah.
not carrying the entire mental and emotional weight of managing the household and taking care of children.
And that can be difficult. For one, how people grow up is different, so the expectations of the home um might be one way, but if it's not sustainable, it is worth looking at and saying, I need you to do more of this.
Hmm.
One thing that can also help that I have done before with people is writing out everything that you have to think about on a given day to make your house function.
Mm, that's a
And
good
I
idea.
mean everything. I don't write you don't sit down with this and you don't write cooking dinner. You write down decide what you want or decide what we're going to eat, decide how much of it you need to make, figure out what ingredients you have here or if you need to go to the store,
Hmm.
um cooking it and then cleaning up
Yeah.
afterwards.
Yeah. There's a lot of
And
steps to all that.
it's not just that you do that for all of it on a whiteboard or on a notebook or whatever and you write all of it out. And the kids schedule, the work meetings, all of that kind of stuff, and you say, "What of this do you want to take?" Because um, I can't carry it all. And some of it is also talking about the mental load of the task itself. Um, we've had marriage and parent groups and stuff before where we've talked about like, okay, the this spouse will take on dinner, but then the only thing that they're doing is cooking. They're not figuring out the ingredients, they're not figuring out what they need to
Right.
make. They're only cooking and I have to figure all of the other aspects of it out.
For
So
them
it's
to
only
cook.
taking one teeny tiny little thing in about 20 minutes out.
Right.
Thanks. But like can you if we're supposed to be doing this together, if we're a team, then we need to play like a team member, you
Right.
know?
Yeah. So self care is working with your spouse to either give mental load or take mental load, depending on which spouse is carrying the mental load.
Yeah.
So, and sometimes people use self care to build bad habits. So
Yeah.
sometimes we like to go to lunch or to coffee, but our budgets can't handle it.
The words you're looking for in this are, I just really need this right now.
Yes. And sometimes also on a hard day, falling back into addictions like, okay, I just need to take a smoke.
Yeah.
So another thing is that I've known some people to know that they need a release from all this stress and emotions that are building up, and they just need to yell at somebody.
Yeah.
And so they know that they're going to get that release by yelling at somebody or manipulating other people into helping to take care of you,
Right.
when that's just going to hurt the relationships and also hurt you by not allowing yourself to grow beyond that need.
So, what can you do instead of these bad habits when you're struggling, when you just need this right now?
It helps to find, if you just need coffee, then finding a way to make coffee at home.
Like ahead of, like preemptively think about that so
Yes,
that you
have
have
that
that
ready.
ready.
And it might mean that you have to have one of the special ingredients that one of your favorite coffee shops have. So it is special. It's not just a cup of coffee.
Yeah. And
It's still going to
ultimately
cost cheaper.
it's way cheaper in the long run. If you think
Yes.
about it and plan it ahead of time, it is cheaper
Right.
to have on you than it
Right.
is to go out and get it all the time.
Yes. So finding, if it's an addiction, you always want to find something to take the place of that addiction, not another addiction, but like, okay, if you're smoking, you don't want to start eating
Right.
because you're just
Right.
changing one with another. So you want to find something that takes that place that's not unhealthy.
That might require doing a little bit of research too,
Yes.
especially
Yeah.
on something like smoking or like an addiction of smoking or drinking or whatever it
Right.
is, or eating.
Right.
Um, that's one of the things that I found for eating because I've struggled on and off with an eating disorder. And in those times where I would want to binge eat, um, I found like the biggest thing was chewing
Mm-hmm.
and um, gum worked for me.
Okay.
And it didn't
Yeah.
mean I didn't eat. It just meant like if I knew that I was eating emotionally, if I could catch it in time, I would substitute that with like
Right.
gum.
Right. That's a great example. Finding something that substitutes. Yeah. And sometimes for a smoker, it's holding the cigarette.
Right,
So
right.
find
Figuring
something
out
that you can hold.
what you need to trade out with. Yeah.
Yes. But for more healthy options.
So we talked about those two, but what about the big one that I think a lot of people really struggle with is the yelling. What can you do when you need that release to just yell that yelling gives
Well,
you?
one of the things that I have done before is we have a woods close to us, fortunately, and I just go and just really loud and let that frustration out. My youngest daughter and I used to go and take eggs, and eggs are a lot more expensive these days, so you might not be able to do that, and throw eggs at trees
Okay.
and just see them like
Splat.
bust. Yeah. That helped her a lot when she was getting to the point where she just needed to let go somehow in
Okay.
anger and frustration.
Oh, one thing you could do, especially with Valentine's Day, is look and see if you have a local rage room. Have you heard of
Yes.
those? Those are
Yes.
cool, aren't they?
Yeah, those
They
are
look like
cool.
fun.
Yes.
This
Sometimes exercising helps that release too.
Yeah. In the book How Not to Lose Your Shit with Your Kids, it
Hmm.
said do literally anything else. And I was like, well,
Yes.
what does that even mean? And she recommended like singing. Just start
Really
singing
loud.
or well not no, because you don't want to scare
Oh.
the
Oh,
kids.
that's true. That's with the kids home. Yes.
But or dance like well, you're losing your shit with your kids.
Right.
So
Right.
singing or dancing or getting completely away from whatever you're working on at the moment, getting out of there and doing something else, start
Right.
cleaning or something
Removing
like
yourself from the
that.
situation for a minute. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rage cleaning is a thing too. Don't
Yeah.
slam cabinet doors
I
and
was gonna
like,
say you gotta
don't
be
do
careful
that.
not to be toxic about that.
Right.
But yeah.
But you could cleaning, if the cleaning out something helps you, then that helps too.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of different ways, but you need to think about what exactly you need to substitute. And that will be specific to what's going on inside of you. And like the smoking thing, like, is it holding the cigarette? Is it the puff? It definitely is the nicotine, unfortunately. But
Yeah. And oral fixations are a really big deal
yes.
too.
So it might mean that you trade that for a cup of coffee for a little while.
Yeah, they make these I don't know how healthy they are or anything, but they make these, they're like silicone sticks that have, they have stuff in them. I don't know what they have in them, but it gives you the same breathing
Mhm.
as cigarettes. Of a couple of people that I've talked to like those. I don't personally smoke, but
Yeah,
I know a couple of people that said that those were great.
right. So
So,
finding those substitutions that's a very personal thing, but you wanna really if you're with a therapist, your therapist can help you walk through that. Even some social media sites might help you with substitutions, but really
yeah,
think about yourself and then try different things until you find that substitution. And it might be that you have one substitution and then this substitutes for that until you can like walk yourself down.
gotcha. Okay.
So, yeah, a lot of different aspects of self-care today.
Yeah, we hope that you got something out of it, and that you found some ways to help you take care of yourself.
So, we will see you next week for episode 4 and remember, it can get better than this.